very excited, about today. I've been excited all this time planning this event, because Candradasa, of course, is a very important person in Triratna. For me, I mean, I got involved in Triratna 3 years ago during the pandemic, and all the access I had, to all the material, to contact with Triratna Buddhist Center in London, or to have access to material, videos, audios, everything, was the internet. That is the only way I could possibly connect with Triratna. And the person behind everything, online, is Candradasa. So when you visit the website of the Triratna Buddhist Center, or you listen to audios in Free Buddhist Audio, and it's amazing work that he's been doing for many years, and decades. We were talking yesterday how he's been developing talks from Candradasa, back in the 60s. We have everything available in Free Buddhist Audio, and I always imagine, when I listen to Candradasa talks, I go like, wow, this has been taped at some point, and putting everything together in a website that is free. And we should support that, because not everything for us is free, available, but not for them. For them behind everything, doing all the work, to have it available for us is not free. Though for us it's free. So I think it should be a good way to put our dana money in there. And so yes, Candradasa is he was ordained in 2001. His name is the guardian of the moon.
Follower of the moon.
Follower of the
servant.
A servant of the moon, which is beautiful name I find. And of course, behind a beautiful name has to come a beautiful person. And I can say that we just met last night. But Antonio and I, we went for dinner last night, and Antonio and I went back home thinking, what a generous person, because he's on vacations. He's traveling, privately. This is not a business trip, it's just a vacation. He decided to come to Japan, and yet he wants to connect to our Sangha, to a little Sangha here. And he gave us time last night, out of his free time, vacation time. He could have been, visiting some other places, yet he was there with us. He's here with us now. And we appreciate so much that, because he's very generous from you, to dedicate some time, a whole day practically, to our Sangha. Such a relevant person in general. Please welcome, Candradasa.
Thank you. It's very nice to be here. Feels like being amongst friends. Actually, we can start with friends. It was lovely to meet Susanna and Antonio last night, and to hear about Lily to be supporting the Sangha here. And in a way, that's why I wanted to come and connect, because we have friends in common. Aripala and I've been friends for a long time. And Eva is lovely. And there's something about just gathering together like this. In some ways, that is the whole of the practice, just this. Coming together as friends in the Dharma and taking it seriously, but not too seriously. Seriously in that we're doing something important, or we think this is going to be important to our lives, and we want to meet together and share the Dharma, and we want to share it with other people. And Susanna particularly, well actually you and Antonio, setting up the conditions for this to arise. It's really, it's the most deeply generous thing that you can do is give the Dharma. We were talking last night about the future of Triratna Tokyo and what's going to happen. But actually, I'm not worried about what happens. I don't have to run it, so it's easy for me. It's easy for me to be relaxed. But actually, I have a lot of confidence in you just from one dinner. That doesn't mean I can tell the future or what's going to happen. But I think you can always tell when someone is sharing what they love. Yeah? And the way that you share the Dharma and the way that you bring the Sangha together, and Antonio, the way that you're just willing to be supportive of that whole effort, is, in a way, that's what you look for. Not so much what somebody says, but how they are. So it's been very moving and impressive to sort of hear my friends talk about you at a distance, and then come and meet you, and it's all true. You're like, you're very generous. You've welcomed us very beautifully, and it already feels like home. It's one of the great things about belonging to an international community is I've been to India a few times. I'm from Scotland, but I now live in North America. Some of my team live and work in Mexico City. Wherever I go, I come to groups like this, and it's like you're with friends at home. So in a way, that's what I'd most like us to do today, is just practice together. No great secret teachings coming up. Just the teaching for all of us is this experience of being together and supporting each other with a very open heart. Whatever arises will be fine. We can't do this wrong, okay? There's no way to make a mistake with this. Yeah. So I wanted to build on this idea of you as a kind of shining light of welcome and generosity, bringing together the community. When I moved to America, I used to have an apartment. It was by a river, with a big window like this, but there was a river outside. And I used to live in the back of the apartment, and in the front of the apartment we had Dharma classes every week. And people used to come along every week, and I used to always say, why are you here? Why do you come? And I would quite like to ask each of you that today. Like, why are you here? Yeah? So maybe we could just share that before we do any more practice together. So Susanna, why are you here today, and why are you here with the Dharma?
Well, I'm here because practicing Buddhism, studying the Dharma, I kind of like found a way of living. In a way, I since I was a kid, I always asked like, okay, what is my purpose in life? What should I do before I die? And kind of like studying the Dharma, I kind of finally got it. Yeah, so because I had this amazing experience with the Dharma, I want to just spread it to people that are willing to.
You can't be.
Exactly. So this is why.
All right, I'm Laura. I'm here because I'm on vacation in Japan. But I've been a practicing Buddhist for something like 11 or 12 years, and I always knew that I wanted to prioritize kindness and being in the moment in my life and to help minimize suffering. And Buddhism is the only Sangha that I've found that tells you how to do that in a clear way. So that's been really transformative in my life.
In my case, when I was little, I was born in China, and when I was little, I saw a lot of beggars, homeless in the streets, and that made me feel very guilty because they don't have access to get food, but I've always been easily to get the food, so I was wondering why people's destiny is so different, and I couldn't stop thinking of it, and I was majored in philosophy and religion at at college, and so in the study, I found a reason in Buddhism, so about the cause and effect, and this perfectly solved my problem. And so I decided to follow the Buddha's teaching. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shashank. Well, last week, Diksha said we got a message, we have to go. The first rule is we have to listen. That's not the part. Not everything I listen to her. Second thing is, the second thing and most important is in day-to-day busy life, we are stuck somewhere. We don't know from where to start. So I came here because every within a 3 months or 2 months or maybe within 1 week, we need a restart. What are you doing? It's you need a space for yourself to just look at yourself I'm here.
Hello, I'm Diksha, and though my background is from Triratna since my childhood, so I used to go to centers and meet Dhammachari, Dhammamitras, and maybe some beginners who just started. And I'm missing that part while when I came to Tokyo, and I was searching for that. And when I met Susanna, and then as I met him at that time, I feel like home here. And we are into a very busy schedule while we are here. And yes, so I just want to relax myself. I just want to feel that vibes which I missed and which I used to feel in India. So that's why I'm here, and nice to meet you all.
My name is Masami Yamamoto. Why I came here? My reason is just curiosity. Who is Candradasa? And theory is my friendship to Susanna. That's all.
You did not speak well.
Because I'm not good at English. Speaking English is not good. I'm now I am studying scientific class. I attend. I'm looking for the purpose or and value thing. Value. What is the value of me, mine? And that night, the idea come up with my mind. And if I try to accept the things positively, so that's good for me.
Things go smoothly, better.
Yeah.
So I find that thing. So I try.
It's fine to speak in Japanese for anyone. I can be translated. This is your country.
I like to listen to everyone's opinion.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Nuri. The reason is I've been always curious about Buddhism. never really had a chance to learn. Every Monday after meditation, Father explains in small pieces, which is very helpful because it's not too much, and then everything's always very useful in daily life. And then the reason I came here today is wanted to meet everyone, and it's also very nice to see people who I normally see online in person.
If at any point I say anything and you would like it translated, just say. Okay.
Okay. Hi, my name is Noru. Why I'm here? Well, I'm very interested in improving my life, my health, and I think Buddhist is. I'm not actually a Buddhism. I'm not much into religion, but I think I know Susana, Antonio, Lily, Ariapala, and I think they are teaching me a lot of things to improve my quality of life. I'm connecting with people not only from because it's a religion. I'm gonna say, oh no, I'm not into religion. I'm gonna not, but I'm learning so much about myself and how to improve my life through this practice of meditation, and is very helpful to the day-to-day. It's a great tool to improve my day by day. So, and I'm here to meet new people with new ideas, and I wanna connect more and more with people with this kind of thinking that they wanna improve their life, they wanna be better for themselves and also for others. So that's why I'm here today, to get better and be better for others at the same time. Thank you.
I am here, first of all, supporting Susana has been doing for the last 3 years. Similar, I had no choice. But also because, yeah, I have seen the change that this community have brought to my family, to Susana, to all of us, and the impact that these relations have now in our daily life. We have been amazing people in the last few years coming over to Japan and being as generous as you to let us learn something from you and share some of the time from us. So, and similar to Noru, I'm not following any religion specifically, but it's so much that I've been actually getting that I'm happy to support her because I see the changes and the positive change that not only with Susana, but people around us. And Triratna had taken us to that place that where we see that what we practice, you can apply it on a daily basis, similar to what Lily mentioned. And that's kind of what the trigger was when I realized, well, if I do this and I can then apply my meditation techniques to a daily life, and I do, and I see the impact, that definitely has been an eye-opener for me and I think for our family of that part. Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you. Totally agree with you. Yeah. Meditation is a kind of journey. Yeah. Hi everyone, Felix here. Yeah, I visit Tokyo for around 1 month and we'll be back to Hong Kong and then back to Singapore next Monday. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. For me, I'm not quite good at meditation. I tried before. The previous one is in Antarctica. I do meditation there with a lot of penguins. Yeah, very fun. Yeah. Also, while I was in senior Australia, I went to Nantian Temple, which is a very big temple there. So I was there for around 6 days. So I did kind of meditation there. So today is my first time to try meditation in Japan.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Thank you, everyone.
You made it here, so welcome.
Well, I hope it's a good experience.
Yeah.
First meditation. Last night when we were having dinner, we were talking about trying to establish the Dharma in Japan. And I realized afterwards, I didn't say this at the time, but Japanese Buddhism was very important to me when I first heard about Buddhism. I was not very interested in religion. In fact, I was very not interested in religion. I'd grown up as a Christian, as a Catholic, in a society which is very divided around Christianity. Lots of violence, a lot of suffering in society around which version of Christianity you follow. A bit like Northern Ireland, almost like civil war, very difficult. And I took Christianity very seriously. I thought I might want to be a priest for a while, and I really tried, really tried. And then eventually I realized, no, I don't think I believe in God in that way. These days, my whole family is still very Catholic. And I can have some appreciation actually more and more as I get older. And at the same time, I've become clearer and clearer that the Dharma, whether it's a religion or not a religion, I don't really care. Like, it makes a day-to-day difference. There's something about how it beautifully helps you transform your life. So it's not an idea, it's not abstract, it's to do with your experience. And Japanese Buddhism, when I was very young and becoming interested in Buddhism, I was very interested in poetry. And I started to read Japanese poets, people like Ryokan and Kukai, Basho, all these people. And that was one of the reasons I began to trust the Dharma, was because the expression that people had for the Dharma was so beautiful and so present and so kind. It was very kind use of language. People who had sat in nature and allowed themselves to be vulnerable and exposed, human, and then they felt moved to share something. And here am I in Scotland, all these years later, reading these Japanese poetry books and thinking, there's something in this that I want to follow. So I wish I'd said that last night, but it's nice to say it today. And in fact, in Triratna, one of the symbols we have for our community is called the refuge tree. And it's like the whole of Buddhist history, all of the great teachers through history, and there's a special section on the refuge tree for teachers from China and Japan. Yeah. And that's really important to our community. So I think Buddhism is going to come to Japan in new ways through this kind of effort. And people have been practicing the Dharma in Japan for a long time. And actually, communities like this, circles like this, have been meeting together for almost 3,000 years, just to try and explore what do we mean by the Dharma? What do we mean by experience? Why is it so difficult to be alive and a human being? Why do we suffer? Why do our loved ones suffer? So what we're doing is very traditional. You could almost imagine, like, instead of the statue of the Buddha, there was a tree. Maybe when we're meditating, you can do this. You can just imagine this giant tree growing up out of the floor in the Yosuya Civic Center, all the way down from the ground floor, all the way up through the elevator shaft to here, and the Buddha's sitting underneath. And we're just sitting with the Buddha. And that all the Buddha did was got to the point where he didn't know what to do. Nothing was working. Okay? He's fed up, he's confused, and he sits down under a tree, at least in the story, this is what happens. He sits down under a tree and says, I am not going to move from here until I've figured it out. Yeah. It stays with him. The Buddha also saw sick men, homeless man, dying man on the side of the road. Yeah. And he gets to the point where he can't do anything else but sit down under a tree. And the tree is alive, and the Buddha is alive. Which is very important. Like, the central image in Buddhism is a living tree with a living human being sitting underneath it who is confused. Like us. That's us, yeah? And all that's happened since then is the Buddha realizes something, comes up with some practice to help us realize that too, which is what we're going to do today. And then the people who heard that, like you, Susanna, sit down with other friends like this in a circle and share it together. And that's it. It doesn't need to be more complicated than that. Yeah. And the Buddha essentially has one technique, or maybe a forking technique, two branches. One branch is just paying attention to what is in front of you, what your experience is. Nothing more. Paying attention, being present, which is where Japanese poetry comes from, or Japanese art, or calligraphy. Yeah? The beautiful moment of, if I'm sitting here, and I feel my body, and I'm in touch with my animal breath, what's it like? Yeah. What's it like if I continue to sit here and notice? Maybe it's uncomfortable. Yeah. Maybe I'm unhappy. Maybe I'm anxious or worried. I just sit here and I notice, and something changes. I had to write a book for children last year, and I was trying to work out how to talk to children about this, because children don't want to sit there. We were walking here today and we saw the children going to school. It was fantastic. It was like, woo! It's like little chickens running all over the place.
Good morning, sorry.
Good morning.
Is it still okay?
Yeah.
Really?
Come in.
Good morning.
Morning, sorry.
It's okay. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm Candradasa. What's your name?
I'm Jessica.
Jessica. Nice to meet you. Is it okay if we speak in English, or would you like translation? Or?
Good.
You good? Yeah. Okay. So I'm just we're just talking a little bit about in a way why we're here. In fact, everyone went round and said why they're here. If you'd like to, you can, or if you'd rather just join in. Would you like to say why you came today?
I'll listen first. Thank you.
Okay, good. So we're just talking about people have been meeting like this for thousands of years, just to be together and talk about what is important, or what they think is important. And there's something about just paying attention to what's happening that seems to change things, particularly when we're confused or difficult or struggling, yeah, or anxious, or whatever. It's not like magic. It doesn't make everything fix immediately. But there is something about stopping. In fact, in the Japanese tradition, the Chinese tradition, the Chan tradition, we talk about stopping and realizing. Dhyana, stopping and realizing. You become absorbed. You allow yourself to become absorbed in your experience. And over time, something changes in your body. Like your body is your consciousness. So it's like you're like a whole vehicle or a whole vessel for consciousness. And if you slow down and stop, something changes. Yeah? So that's one aspect of the Buddha's technique. He sits under the tree is growing, the tree is alive, he is alive, and he stops and realizes. Yeah? So paying attention, mindfulness, awareness is one branch. The other branch, we'll stick with trees, the other branch is kindness. Yeah? Kindness, and not just niceness. Yeah? Niceness is okay, you should definitely be nice. Maybe not too nice, but nice. Yeah? But kindness is something different. And in some of the suttas, the Buddha talks about kindness as being something that blazes like the noonday sun. Yeah? When we think of kindness, we tend to think of, I don't know, gift cards or soft. Yeah? Kindness as the heat of the sun, yeah? Illuminating everything, warming everything, bringing everything to life. So when you stop and you sit and you're aware, that's one part. And the other part is turning towards yourself and then opening out to life with a sense of deep, deep kindness. Like the natural response of paying attention is to turn towards other people with understanding. Somebody in your family does what they always do, and you react. And then one day you notice and you think, oh, she's doing that again, and I'm reacting again. And you think, oh, I don't need to react. Actually, it's got nothing to do with me. Like, what I want to do is, like, I can empathize with what's happening. And I think sometimes it's easy to think that kindness is like an add-on or an optional extra, deluxe version of Buddhism. Like mindfulness is the real thing and kindness is this extra bit. Not so, yeah. That's why gathering as friends is the whole of the practice. Because when you gather as friends, we witness each other and we say, this is important. Choosing to do this on a Tuesday morning is important. Imagine the whole world stopped today at this time and said, no, for 3 hours we're going to practice kindness and we're going to practice awareness. The world will be totally transformed. It would be impossible to live the way we normally live. So this is really serious. And when you meet together like this, you start to feel that bond of connection. And you can see why, in a way, kindness is not an idea. It's something that emerges. Maybe it's a little bit shy. You just think, oh. No, but it's like, that's what you want to do, is respond to people openly. So I thought today we could base the day around practicing awareness and practicing kindness, not just as superficial or surface things, but as the deepest thing you can do. Yeah? Deeper and deeper and deeper. The Dharma is just that. The Buddha under the tree has that awareness. Oh, being here and then opening out to the world, sharing with kindness. That is it. There are no deeper teachings. There are no secret higher teachings. Buddhism, as a religion, across many cultures, becomes very complex. Yeah? Western Buddhism is very complex. Very complex. Baba Sahib Ambedkar in India is in one set of cultural conditions. Ugyen Sangharakshita in England, in the West, another set of conditions. All quite complicated. But underneath all of that practice, people like us sitting down together and practicing kindness and practicing awareness. And if we all did that deeper and deeper and deeper, our lives will be transformed. And people will meet you and they'll think, something's different. Something's different. Oh, and maybe they recognize it and they think, oh, this is a way to live. I could live like this. You're not going to fix the whole of society, unfortunately, but you can fix this bit. Like so, and that has a really amazing effect on people. The amount of hope it gives people, the amount of comfort it gives people. Just to know that other human beings are choosing to stop and pay attention and turn towards other people with love. It's really profound teaching. Meditation is not the only way to do this. In fact, we don't meditate most of the time. So we have to find other ways to do this apart from meditation. But meditation is a very good way to practice. It's called practice because we're rehearsing. Like, it's like life is a great drama and we're taking part in it. And sometimes it's good to stop. You were saying at the start, to stop and rehearse and go, oh, hang on, how is it I want to behave again? How is it I want to live again? Oh, that's right. I want to stop and realize, and I want to be kind to myself so that it's possible for me to go out into the world and meet other people who are confused with kindness, just as I am confused. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll do some meditation together around the breath and the body. And we'll sit, and then we'll have a little break. You can stretch your legs, smile at each other, go to the bathroom, whatever you need. And then we'll have some conversation about our experience of practice, whether it's the meditation or just generally. And then we'll close by doing a meditation around kindness in our body. Yeah? And then that's what we can take with us back into the day. That'll be our gift to Tokyo for the day. Will be some more beings shining with kindness. Yeah? And everybody has meditated before. Jessica, have you meditated before? A few times. Yeah. So I'll lead through the meditation. You won't have to remember. I'll give you a little summary at the start, and then I'll remind you as we go through. Okay. So we'll sit for maybe 35 minutes. A friend of mine who has been teaching meditation for about 45 years. Crazy. He was saying to me recently that he thought meditation was more effective in small amounts, which I was interested in. He said 20 minutes. 20 minutes is enough. Now sometimes I think you need to go on retreat and do longer than 20 minutes, but actually 20 minutes every day or 4 days a week or whatever is doable, you know. And again, it doesn't need to be sitting like this. It can be lying in bed or just looking out the window. So we will sit together. We're going to do the practice in, let me see, probably 5 stages. And I'll ring the bell each time. And I'll say some things to keep us on track. And if you don't like people leading meditation, I apologize in advance. You can just tune me out, like the radio. If you get too distracted, it'll be so view at the window. I think it's really important with meditation that you feel completely free to move in any direction in your mind. The Buddha's teaching, the practice of awareness, the practice of kindness, is all about liberation. Yeah? And I think it's important that we take that seriously. Liberation is not something that happens for other people later on. Yeah? Freedom is not something reserved for advanced people. Freedom is something we practice 10,000 times a day in our mind. Yeah? Each moment there's an opportunity to let go of something and to turn it around, yeah, to find the way to turn it around. And meditation is very good for this, because as soon as we close our eyes, our minds will start doing things, yeah, which is normal, yeah, and healthy. And the trick is to just sit and let it settle and do the practice, follow the breath, follow the body. And when your mind wanders off, as it will do, when you notice, you can smile. Your mind is working normally. You can bring your mind back to the practice and make your choices. And you can't get it wrong. Nobody is judging you. Nobody is going to say after you die, on Tuesday, April 18th, 2023, you let your mind wander and you did not come back to the breath. Nobody's going to do that. Yeah, it's your mind, it's your consciousness. So enjoy it, be responsible for it, ask questions about it, be curious about it. Yeah. Experience your whole being. That's what meditation is, an invitation to do that, to experience your whole being. So, unless you're very sleepy, I'd suggest that you get comfortable in your chair. There are no prizes for being uncomfortable. It's absolutely fine. It's not more spiritual to be uncomfortable. Do you like a cushion or anything?
No, I'm okay.
Really let yourself arrive. Probably have a sense of the space, the room that we're in, the sound of the air conditioning, the brightness of the light. Maybe you can feel the presence of someone close to you. Just letting your eyes be closed, restful eyelids. Feel your feet in contact with the earth, with the ground beneath you. Let the chair or the floor take your weight and support you. If it helps, you could imagine yourself with roots going down into the earth. Strong and nourishing roots. As if you yourself were a tree in the sunlight. And let your hands be at rest. Notice if you're holding any tension in your hands. You can wiggle your fingers. Just let them rest easy in your lap or on your knees. We'll just establish a sense of our bodies. Our bodies are not separate from our minds. We are our bodies. Let yourself be in your body. You can notice the air against your skin, against your face, your arms, the coolness of the air. Take a few deeper breaths and relax your face. Notice if you're holding any tension. You can let it go. Let your shoulders drop towards the floor. If you feel that you're holding tension in your chest, just breathe into the tension. Give yourself permission to relax, even if it's difficult. Same with your belly. Breathing into your belly. Trying to let go of anything you're holding on to. You don't need anyone's permission to be here. Feel the chair supporting you, the ground supporting you. Have a sense of your whole body occupying space. And take your place. Decide to take up your space. You're alive, and you're aware, and you're awake. Make a conscious choice to give yourself to the practice for a short time. Just like the Buddha under the tree, all we're going to do is sit and be present to our experience, be alive and vulnerable and courageous and kind to ourselves, and trust ourselves that this is worth doing and is going to help. And like the Buddha, we'll start by following our breath. Just notice your breathing as it rises and falls. No special breathing required. Your own breathing is good enough. Breath coming in, and your breath going out. Like the waves of the sea. With each in-breath, the air turns into breath in your body. With each out-breath, the breath turns back into air. Just letting yourself settle. Letting yourself be at ease as much as you can.
So that was the first time I exactly experienced it, and to know what does that mean. It's like sometimes I do chant the mantra, and when I really focus on it, and I feel like I don't know who is chanting. Like there's not a distinction between my physical body and outside world, and so I'm still thinking of what exactly this me, not this body, is looking for in this world, and what is I really want to do. So I want to, through the meditation, to help me lead myself to the right path, to follow my heart to do something that make me very happy.
Yeah. Is it going well?
Well, last night I joined the meditation lessons in this group, and we practiced loving kindness meditation, and a part of me feel like I don't know what the feeling is. I love myself. I don't know how to measure it. Like a part of me is rejecting. I don't know how to say this. I feel a rejection around there, around my heart. So basically, I just don't know what's the feeling is to love myself. Is this affecting my body or my mind? The love. I don't know it yet, and I really appreciate if you can give me some advice.
Does anybody have any thoughts about how to love yourself?
I had a similar problem when I started to do the first stage is myself, and I think that was the most difficult one. And the next one was the difficult person. My first difficult person became okay after years of meditating. One day I was okay with the person, so I was like, oh, it's working. But still learning the first stage is very challenging. I normally try to talk to myself, to ask like, how are you feeling? How are you doing today? So that was very challenging for me too. But then I guess practice makes it easier step by step.
I think that, at the end of that meditation we just did, where in a way it maybe sounds too simple, but just relaxing. So like, it sounds like you had a strong experience some years ago, in a way, an insight. You kind of thought, so I need to engage with something in the world. You saw the homeless people, you noticed suffering. That's just what the Buddha does. The Buddha just sees suffering and relates to the suffering personally. And for a while, the Buddha definitely does not relax. He does some really crazy stuff, which doesn't work, right? Because he's too tight about it. And then eventually he figures out, the bit that's missing is that he's getting in the way of freedom. So I think there's something about just practicing relaxing. Like in a way you can trust yourself that you've already seen what's important. Yeah, you've already seen it. There's not something better to see. It's more like trusting yourself that you can let that sink into your being, and you can let it mature and grow. And actually, if you can relax and keep turning towards yourself with a sort of, like, you may not feel kindness immediately. Kindness isn't in the metta bhavana that we do. It's not a feeling. is turning towards something. So I think Sangha actually talks about it as to do with your will. Like you, in the moment, you may not be feeling kind at all. In fact, you might be feeling angry.